All right, hello everybody. Today we are in the Coso mountains and we're headed off-road to check out some old mining camps and maybe find some ancient Native American artifacts. Come along with us for the ride. The Coso Mountains straddle the boundary between southern and central California and have been inhabited for millennia by native peoples of Paiute Shoshone descent, evidence of which is to be found in some of the oldest petroglyphs in the West. Today, much of the Coso Range lies within the boundaries of China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station, which has both served to limit access to these sacred petroglyph sites, such as Big and Little Petroglyph Canyons, as well as help protect them. Before the COVID pandemic, the Matarango Museum led field tours onto the base, where some of the most impressive examples of Coso art exists, but which has remained closed to the public since 2020. So check this out. This is really interesting. You have this kind of like natural cave formation, but you'll notice right around it, you have a clearing ringed with rocks. And here we are right on the kind of like edge of the hill here. And you look back over here, you're off the kind of base of the land here. I wonder if this was some kind of habitation. Clearly, this is still a habitation. You have maybe a coyote den. Look what we have here. So, some evidence of this area here having been a habitation site. We have some obsidian, which indicates that someone was here creating tools. You could imagine someone sitting here in this shelter, looking out here over this plain, scouting for bighorn, deer, maybe pronghorn. So you have a nice little rock shelter up here. Perfect place to get out of the sun. Came upon another rock ring. It looks like this area here would have been used as a flat space, and then maybe someone would have built some kind of like, hut over the area. But you can see these rocks that outline the spot, and in the middle it's super smooth. And it really strikes me what an amazing spot this would be for ancient hunters to be sitting up here perched amongst these sheltering rocks to conceal their presence from the animals below, but yet you have this incredible 360 degrees of perspective. Not long after, we came upon what would be the first of two fascinating mining camps. I believe this is a turn of the century copper mine. What a wild place to be at. So remote, so distant, but yet absolutely beautiful. And down here is the mine. have a fireplace down here, and you can see there's all this sheet metal here. So maybe this was the roof. So is this possibly the home site? And then up there you had the mine itself. It looks like maybe it was like a folding chair. Maybe someone brought this out here in more recent times. Over here is some kind of foundation. You can imagine a house here. Lots more sheet metal over here. Looks like some kind of signage, or maybe perhaps the kitchen sink that's now been shot up. This looks like it's the seat of some kind of vehicle, almost. This thing right here. An old water storage barrel. Tin cans. What a view. What a place to wake up to before you do a day's work of mining. We then headed up the road where a short while later we encountered another mining camp and a fascinating miner's hut. Check out this very interesting stone hut. Wow, look at the construction of this. Just layered stones, wooden roof. Oh, wow. Little bench. There's some nails to hang things on. Clearly someone was using this as some sort of a residence. Definitely the bed. The window looking out, these screens to keep out the flies. This is such a cool find. And all these slats here are what was once the door. You can see there's some hinges there. So this looks like maybe like the annex over here for that little stone house. And you can see on the ground there's some old pieces of pottery. Check out that design there, this porcelain pottery. Really cool. Some more over here. So you can definitely see that there was a habitation here, as there's this cement foundation that we're standing on this flat section here. So that guy probably had it worse than this guy. This guy probably had the nicer home, but that by far has outlasted time. This is kind of cool. There's an old inscription on this piece of sheet metal here, and it says TEC and then Johannesburg. Johannesburg, California lies in the Rand Mountains and is a mining town from the early 1900s. Joburg was developed to support the Rand Mining District, which was the top gold and silver producing district in California at the time. However, the district was short-lived and would close down by the mid-1900s. Its population once numbering in the thousands, today the town holds only a couple of hundred people and is being preserved for its mining history. Perhaps whoever left this sheet metal had fallen short of their mining dreams and started out for a new claim in this distant region. So we're in the wash here at this stone hut, and you can see they've built a wall, I'm guessing, to channel the water so they can collect it, and then probably kind of drained it into some kind of holding tank over in this area. So I guess here is the mine. Careful, don't want to be walking around here at night. Wow, what a cool spot. So maybe a couple of years ago, I was looking around on Google Earth and I noticed this weird swamp-like formation. Today we finally decided to come out and take a look. From above, it looks like an alien head. I would be hard-pressed to believe that this formation was not purposely shaped into the strange alien-like profile, which most likely once served as a natural sink in which to water cattle. So there's the alien head there, and then the arm stretching out to either side. I really wonder if this was an intentional formation. We are just hiking around above this dry lake bed over here. I just had some lunch and I was thinking what a great spot this would be to be a hunter. This is one of the very few springs in the area. You can imagine a couple hundred years ago how this probably would have been much more full at this time of year. They would have come down from these surrounding hills and they would have waited for the game to approach the water and then attack. Now, of course, when you see some obsidian, like we have here, you know that most likely this hill here was used as a hunting blind, and they probably patiently waited for the animals. So when there's more than one piece of obsidian, you know it's probably likely to be a hunting spot. This one really looks like it's been shaped into an arrowhead. You can see the way there's grooves along the edges and it's moved into a point at the top there. So even though historically there have been bighorn sheep that inhabited these mountains, there no longer are. And a book I recently read proposed a theory that said that there was a type of a bighorn sheep cult that saw the killing of the sheep as a symbol of the male's virility, as a way to attract a wife. So by killing a bighorn sheep, the young man would prove to the women in the tribe that they had what was necessary to provide for them. The symbolism of the bighorn sheep as a referent to sexual prowess relates back to a common origin story of various tribes in the Great Basin region. This story tells of coyotes slaughtering a young male sheep and then using the neck bone to impregnate a woman. Other theories have posited that a Koso Shoshone bighorn sheep hunting cult existed around 1500 years ago, and that the rock art that we see today is a type of veneration of this animal deity. So this is pretty interesting over here. You have an old quartz quarry. Probably not just used by the native peoples. There's a lot of miners' trash, like this metal in the area, but probably also used by them. It's really useful for tool making, and also I believe was considered to have some spiritual, supernatural powers. So before today, this area for us was nothing more than a spot on the map, but we took the opportunity to come out and explore, and it goes to show that adventure always awaits. So thanks for coming along with us on this episode of Artistic Off-Road. We'll see you next time.